American Beauty, 1999. American Beauty is not about finding yourself. It's about discovering what you've already lost. Everyone remembers the plastic bag scene. Ricky filming a bag dancing in the wind, calling it the most beautiful thing I've ever filmed. Critics mocked it, audiences parodied it, but they completely missed what it represents. The ability to find meaning in a meaningless world? Lester Burnham isn't having a midlife crisis because he's bored. He's having one because he's dead inside. He's achieved everything society told him to want. House, career, family stability. And it's all hollow. His wife is obsessed with appearances. His daughter despises him. His job is soul-crushing. His marriage is performance he isn't living, he's maintaining. And then Angela appears, not as salvation but as symbol. Lester's obsession with her isn't about lust. It's about reclaiming desire itself. For years he's felt nothing, wanted nothing, lived as a ghost in his own life. Angela represents the fantasy that feeling anything, even something inappropriate, means he's still alive. But here's the twist. When Lester finally has the chance to sleep with Angela, he doesn't. Why? Because in that moment, he sees her clearly. Not as a fantasy, but as a frightened child. And he realizes something devastating. The problem was never that he couldn't have what he wanted. The problem was wanting the wrong things. The film ends with Lester murdered, but in his final moments, he experiences genuine gratitude. Not for success, not for rebellion, but for ordinary moments he never appreciated. Jane as a little girl, Carolyn when they first fell in love, an unexpected moment of beauty. American Beauty's message isn't rebel against suburban life. It's, you already have everything you need. You just stopped seeing it. Ricky knows this. That's why he films the bag. He understands that beauty isn't found. It's perceived. The plastic bag isn't beautiful because it's special. It's beautiful because someone chose to see it that way. Falling Down, 1993. This movie is not about a man who snaps. It's about entitlement collapsing under its own weight. William Foster believes the world owes him something. He fought in wars, or so he implies. He worked hard. He followed the rules. He played by the system. And now, his wife left him. His job laid him off. Society has declined. Minorities are taking over. Fast food doesn't look like the picture, so he explodes. But here's what the film is actually showing you. Every outburst isn't righteous anger, it's a temper tantrum. Foster believes he's fighting corruption and decay, but watch his actions. He terrorizes a Korean shopkeeper over inflated prices. He threatens construction workers doing their jobs. He pulls a gun on a fast food worker over breakfast timing. He fires a rocket launcher at a road crew. These aren't acts of revolution. They're the violent frustrations of a man who cannot adapt. The world changed. He didn't. And rather than accept that he's part of the problem, he decides everyone else is wrong. The film's genius is in Sergeant Prendergast, the good cop retiring on his last day. Prendergast is everything Foster pretends to be. Decent, patient, self-sacrificing. He deals with the same systemic problems Foster rages against. But he doesn't terrorize innocent people. When Foster finally confronts Prendergast at the pier, he asks, "I'm the bad guy?" And Prendergast's answer is perfect. Yes, Foster genuinely believed he was the hero of his own story, but he wasn't fighting injustice. He was fighting irrelevance. The film ends with Foster realizing too late that his actions weren't noble. They were pathetic. He chose violence because he lacked the humility to change. Be honest. Did you sympathize with him the first time you watched? Because if you did, the film worked. It showed you how seductive self-righteous rage can be, and how quickly it turns monstrous. And now we reach the final film. The one people think is about adolescent angst, but it's actually about predation hidden behind affection. Léon, the Professional, 1994. This is not a love story. It never was. Léon isn't mysterious, he's emotionally stunted. Matilda isn't mature, she's traumatized. What the film presents as affection is actually mutual dependence wrapped in dysfunction. Léon is a professional killer with the emotional intelligence of a child. He can't read, he drinks milk. He watches old musicals. He has no relationships, no purpose, no life outside murder. Then Matilda arrives, a 12-year-old girl whose family was just massacred, and she latches onto Léon not because she loves him, but because he represents safety in a world that just became unbearably dangerous. Léon, in turn, finally has someone who needs him, someone who makes him feel human. But the film is very careful about what it shows. This bond is not romantic. Matilda thinks she's in love because she's a child, mimicking adult emotions she doesn't understand. She's imitating what she's seen in movies, declaring love, flirting, playing dress-up as a femme fatale. But these are coping mechanisms for a traumatized girl with nowhere else to go. Léon knows this. That's why when she says, "I love you," he responds, "You don't love me. You think you do because we're living together." But that's not how it works. He sets boundaries. He refuses to sexualize her. He protects her not from the world, but from himself. And in the film's final act, Léon does something crucial. He removes himself from her future. He doesn't save Matilda by surviving and living happily ever after with her. He saves her by dying, ensuring she can have a normal life without him. The film's message isn't love transcends age. It's trauma can make safety feel like love. And real protection sometimes means letting go. The pattern you weren't supposed to notice. Every single one of these films is about the gap between what we want to believe and what's actually true. Fight Club. We want rebellion, but we get fascism. The Truman Show. We want freedom, but we prefer comfort. Sus 7. We want justice, but we create more violence. The Sixth Sense. We want resolution, but we cling to denial. The Matrix. We want truth, but we choose ignorance. American Beauty. We want meaning, but we chase emptiness. Falling Down. We want righteousness, but we're just entitled. Léon. We want romance, but we're watching trauma. The 90s didn't give us happy endings. They gave us warnings disguised as entertainment. Films that look like thrillers, comedies, dramas, but were actually holding up mirrors. So here's my final question for you. Which of these films did you misunderstand the most? Drop it in the comments. Because if these 90s films taught us anything, it's this. The truth was always there. We just weren't ready to see it.